Growing tensions in Jerusalem escalated further today. Hamas militants fired dozens of rockets into Israel, and the Israelis responded with a series of strikes in northern Gaza. Palestinian health officials say at least 20 people were killed in the strikes, including 3 children. This is Jerusalem Day, when Israeli nationalists celebrate the 1967 annexation of East Jerusalem. They usually parade through Muslim parts of the Old City, but today Israeli police blocked that route in an effort to avoid further violence. For weeks now, Palestinians have clashed with Israeli forces in the area around the Al-Aqsa Mosque, at the holy site that Jews refer to as the Temple Mount. More than 300 Palestinians were injured in those confrontations today alone, along with 21 police officers. Freelance journalist Iris Mackler joins me now live from Jerusalem. Iris, let's start with that rocket fire and counterstrikes today. What can you tell us?
I can tell you that this doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon, because Israel is battening down the hatches, opening its bomb shelters and expecting a barrage of rockets that will continue, in addition to the 150 that have been fired into Gaza so far, that will continue going up to Tel Aviv tomorrow. So that's how Israel sees what's coming. We have been in these rounds before, but we're also seeing that something is happening here in Jerusalem. Nothing has changed. In fact, we see more riots in the areas around the Al-Aqsa Mosque continues, the Damascus Gate continues, the Mount of Olives, another area called Sheikh Jarrah. That's an expansion. We're also seeing riots in the Palestinian territories and even in the north of Israel, in the town of Haifa tonight. Yeah. So in addition to what we're seeing between Gaza and Israel, this escalation is really expanding, and this round, as they call it, I don't think is going to end before the end of Ramadan at the end of the week.
Let's talk about, because I think a lot of people are now, they watch they don't watch the Middle East, those tensions on an ongoing basis, but now this is really getting people's attention. What set off this violence and how did it spread to Gaza?
It spread to Gaza because the militant wing of Gaza, the head of the militant wing, stepped into this Jerusalem story, if you like. And he made a comment a couple of days ago, very elusive Mohammed Deif. He made a comment during the week. And today at 4:30, something like that, after Israel changed the route of that march that was meant to go through the Old City, through the Damascus Gate, the police changed that route, and then Hamas issued an ultimatum and said, if you don't remove Israeli forces from the Temple Mount altogether, you will pay the price. And at 6 o'clock, within an hour and a half, there were the barrage of rockets. And it's just escalated from there. Why has he stepped in? Perhaps because there's this massive power vacuum. There were meant to be Palestinian elections. They aren't. They've now been postponed, if not cancelled. There is an Israeli government. There's only a caretaker prime minister. It's been 4 rounds of elections in the space of 2 years. And I think into this vacuum, what is very familiar in this part of the world, which is the exchange of fire, returns.
Yeah. And what's the status of the expulsion of Palestinian families in East Jerusalem?
That's something that Israel has put off, if you like, for a short time. There's a court case that was meant to be heard today on Jerusalem Day of all things. And that's been postponed for a month in a very legal kind of way, but it clearly came from the politicians. So that is suspended, not over. And that was one of the things that began this round.
Right. Freelance journalist Iris Mackler in Jerusalem, thank you very much.